In today's latest news, we have more updates on Rafael Leao as well as David Fofana. And to end things, we discuss Brazilian wonderkid sensation in Victor Roque as the club are actively scouting the striker. So in today's video, we have a ton of things to break down, discuss, and deep dive into. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content as well too, as we get ready for the restart of the Premier League, as well as a very busy January period as well too. So if you guys like the video, hit that like button, get involved in the comments. But before we get into anything, I need to get one big plug out of the way first. Today's video is brought to you by friends of the channel and OneFootball. The World Cup is ending this Sunday, and for me, I can't actually compute how quickly a month has blown by. But before the World Cup ends, you have your final opportunities now to take part in OneFootball's World Cup quiz. To do so, it's very easy. If you go to your profile page, once you download the app, you can find it right here. And on the home page, there is a tab on the top as well. Once you click, press play now, and then try your best to answer as many questions correctly as you possibly can. But with OneFootball, there are many other incredible features you can take advantage of. For me personally, I just like the follow feature they have, because I follow Chelsea Football Club, and OneFootball makes things very easy for me personally to stay up to date with fixture news, opposition reports, plus news coming out daily of my club too. So what you guys honestly waiting for? Try OneFootball out, it's free, and you'll find a link below in the description and the top comment as well too. So right now, let's discuss the latest updates behind David Fofana, courtesy of reports coming out from Norway. We understand that Molde have accepted our €12.5 million bid to sign the striker, and that's around £10.9 million. Now what's quite interesting is that Molde's average turnover per year is around £10 million anyway, so wow, they're earning a substantial amount of money, of course, by selling Fofana to us. We know that Fofana is a lifelong Chelsea fan for obvious reasons. I mean, Didier Drogba played for us, and some of Africa's best players over the past 15 years have played for us as well too. So we hold a lot of clout and we have a lot of rep. Now reports in Norway state that they accepted our offer this Wednesday, and the final two things we must wait for now is for us to reach personal agreements with Fofana, which most definitely won't be too hard, and the other thing too is getting that visa granted as well too. I think the last time we signed an African player from Norway was John Obi Mikel from Lyn Oslo at the time, so you know, we have a bit of a reputation when it comes to getting talents from the Scandinavian leagues. So for me, I would definitely recommend that you guys watch my reaction video to Fofana. I'll give you guys like a great example and an idea of the type of striker he is and how he could be used, his strengths, his weaknesses, and what he can bring. And you'll find a link to that video in the card above and in the description too. So that's the first story out of the way. Let's discuss the second report, and let's discuss Victor Roque. Now he's 17 years old, he's playing for Atletico Paranaense, and this guy is seen as one of the most promising talents in South American football, and for very good reason. I mean, I like to play these clips so you guys can see the talent for yourself, and watching his clips and his performances, keep reminding yourself that this guy is 17 years old. Now for me, he doesn't look like he's 17, but that really gives you a great example of the potential a player like him definitely has. But anyway, let's discuss the news, and after that I'll give my thoughts and opinions, because we're linked with so much teen talent recently, and I've got some thoughts and opinions behind this. So let's start with the reports right now. These come out from Brazil, and they suggest that after we missed out on signing Endrick after Madrid beat us to his signing, and even though we offered Endrick more money, the fact that Madrid have legacy and it was an opportunity for Endrick to play alongside Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo, it was too good to turn down. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we are giving up on signing the best talents we possibly can, and this is where Victor Roque really comes into play. Recently, we have been turning our attentions to the South American market. We know that we're coming close to signing Andre Santos from Vasco da Gama, so it's no surprise to me that some of our best scouts are in that region looking at the best prospects and best talents. Currently at this point in time, it has been confirmed that both us, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona are actively following the young sensation. And that's for very good reason. For example, he has been seen as one of the most promising players in the Copa Libertadores, coming in the top 6 players to be ranked in that tournament as well too. At 17 years old, he scored around 14 goals and got 5 assists in 51 appearances this season, which is a very good record for someone who is still a teenager. Now back in Brazil, he's been seen as the new Neymar. He plays up front for them and he has his contract that expires in 2027. Now that's quite severe and significant, but there's context behind why, because Atletico Paranaense actually signed him for around $24.5 million from Cruzeiro, and that's because they paid for his contract termination. And the fact that they were willing to pay so much money for a teenager really tells you everything you need to know about his potential and his talent. Now Atletico Paranaense are playing that long-term gamble and they're hoping that he could become their record sale, completely eclipsing the sale that took Bruno Guimaraes from their club to Lyon. So is there now an opportunity for us to secure one of the best talents in South America? I want to give some thoughts and opinions, but before I do so, let me give you guys more context behind the player, how he plays and what his style is. Now, as I was saying in yesterday's video, I'm starting to now see a trend forming now where the new generation of strikers needs to have that 1v1 ability in their game. And for me, it makes a lot of sense. I think that when you have more components to your game, it means you can do more in-game. And I do think that with a lot of forwards now, you need to have that skill set where you can drift wide, where you can bring your teammates into the game, and where you have the opportunity to use your 1v1 abilities to create spaces for your teammates and for yourself to get goals. So him, Endrick, Moukoko, of course Fofana, there's so many examples coming through right now that it makes sense that the best clubs want to secure the very best of these striker talents right now and not in the future. Now looking at Roque, he does have great strength for his age. I mean, his ability to hold off defenders, like adult defenders right now, I mean, that's quite promising. And once he holds them off, he can quickly just change his direction to explode away and create space for himself. Of course, the pace is something this guy has in abundance. I think top teams want their strikers to be gifted with pace and explosiveness, and he has that. For me, when I look at him, he looks like more of a complete forward for me, which I find very interesting due to his age, because when you're watching him, there's times where he is going to drift wide and he can take on his man like a winger. There's times where he can use his pacing behind to disrupt a team's defensive line. There are times where he is going to hold the ball to bring his teammates into the game, and he is exceptionally gifted in 1v1 scenarios. And for me, I've been saying this forever, but I love strikers that can beat their man and take them on. So it's no surprise to see why he is the real deal. Now, what's interesting is that Atletico Paranaense have put a 100 million release clause on his head already. So this is where I'm going to end this story by giving some quick thoughts and opinions. And I think realistically, not a concern, but maybe something I'm thinking about now is that recently we are being linked with tons of teen talents. And my idea is the plan to kind of like stockpile these talents and hope the best ones can get through. I mean, that has its pros and cons. I think maybe on one hand, pros that allows us to access the best talents for, you know, relatively affordable prices right now, where worst comes to worst, you can still make money from these guys if they have to be moved on. But on the other hand, as a con, is that necessarily the best environment to get the very best out of a player if he's competing against 3 other teen talents in his position? I'm not too sure. Regardless though, his contract does not expire until 2027. Realistically, for me, this is more of a scouting report story. We're not looking to place any bids for him right now, but he is someone we are paying attention to and could come back for any time in the future, hopefully when his contract comes down. I mean, he's still 17, maybe next summer he can leave when he's 18 years old, but I think right now he is someone we are paying attention to, and for good reason, because this guy looks like one of the top upcoming forwards in world football. So right now, let's end things by discussing more updates behind Rafael and a January move. Now, it's starting to seem like there's more of a likelihood now that Leao could be leaving AC Milan and will be available in January. Now again, this opinion is based on the news coming out right now. Maybe 2 weeks from now, the story could completely change, but right now I can only give opinions based on information coming out right now. Now, it doesn't help that Leao owes so much debt towards Sporting Lisbon, and that's the main reason behind why Milan have found it so hard to get the renewal sorted at this point in time. Now, reports in Italy suggest that Milan could be willing to pay up to €7 million a season to keep the player. However, if he comes to a club like us, he could earn around €12 million and will not have to worry about the debt being paid back to Sporting Lisbon. Now, a few days prior, German reporter Plettenberg did tweet that Leao isn't considering renewing at AC Milan. Now, that's very promising, you know. Plettenberg does have great sources in European football, and in my personal opinion, the fact that the year ends in literally 2 weeks' time and a new contract has not been found right now gives me a lot of confidence that we can do something in the next month. Anyway, talking about the latest updates today, reports are suggesting that AC Milan have set their asking price at a minimum of €80 million for Rafael Leao. And this fee doesn't deter us at all. Currently, we are just assessing our transfer plans for January and working on our budget. I'd imagine details like, players who will be sold in January will of course play a part in terms of how much money we can spend in January, but reports are saying we could buy up to 3 to 4 players this month, with the forward being absolute priority during the next month. Now, in my opinion, knowing the fact that 80 million is the minimum that Milan would accept, I just see a situation where you're paying 80 million plus offering Hakim Ziyech as part of the deal. I think that is too good to turn down, knowing that Milan have been after Ziyech now for like literally 2 years. I mean, that's around £69 million plus Hakim Ziyech, so that's not too bad. Anyway, we will continue to push Rafael Leao, as well as assessing other options that might be available in the window as well. So for me personally, I see this Leao move going right to the end of the month. Let's hope we can secure this deal and get it over the line. I do think there's a great opportunity to do so, knowing the fact that Leao, he's liking a lot of like Chelsea posts and following a lot of players on social media, which is always a positive sign. And knowing the fact that he is still on holiday and needs to have those final contract talks with AC Milan, but it's not looking as promising right now. So there you guys have it. That is the latest stories that came out today. Please share your thoughts and opinions. And on that note, I'm the EFC. This is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.